The Ryback Show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show Live. I am the big guy, Ryback. Thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. Streaming live, Instagram and TikTok, the big guy, RYBACK20. We're pretty close. We're 55,000 away from 3 million. The big 3 million over on TikTok. So I appreciate all the love and support over there. All the great followers. Instagram has been a lot better as of late. Still not great, but better than what it was. And as always, all the love and support here on Ryback TV on YouTube, where your questions are answered. Super chats are brought up on the screen and will be answered as I see them. Health, fitness, supplementation, pro wrestling, life, anything in between. All of that. Streaming on Twitch at Ryback Rules and Twitter at Ryback. This show is available on all podcast platforms. iTunes reviews are greatly appreciated if you have a moment to swing over there and leave a review. If you just want to listen to the show, you don't have time to watch the lives when we do this, you're more than welcome to listen on any podcast platform. This show is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, my premium supplement line, sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. No harmful artificial sweeteners or colors like all those other guys. Vegan friendly for men and women on feedmemore.com. You can save 20% with discount code RYBACKSHOW20. That's RYBACKSHOW20 at the end of the checkout process. And you get 20% off your entire order. Check out all the new cool Ryback merch. We have drink, accessory, tumbler things, and tank tops, sweaters, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts for men and women over there as well. Still waiting on the new website. They were supposed to have it to me. They haven't. So I have to reach out and see, because I got to go over it. And I'm sure there's going to be more changes based off of how things have gone. So we'll have to kind of just wait and see on that. Good morning, Saturday. Happy Saturday. I'm fasting. So I'm already, these fast, it's like I go through phases where it's just like it's easy, and then there's other parts where you're just kind of, I always notice doing this show is always more difficult for me while I'm fasting, as far as I feel like, and not every single time, but more often than not, I feel like I will, like, I don't feel as smooth. I don't feel as maybe as quick sometimes, and not a bad thing by any means. That's just, it's not having the I guess from the energy from the food and things of that nature. So, and I could say today too, I'm all out of my Wake Up Unlimited energy, and I usually put in big orders off from my fulfillment company and just have them send me a bunch of stuff periodically. And I'd forgotten to order more Wake Up, so I had to order it off of Amazon, and so I'm paying for my own supplements off of Amazon. I'm waiting for it to get here, so I haven't had my Wake Up. I did have a coffee in the morning, but it's not the same. The best part of waking up is wake up in your cup. And if I don't have that wake up first thing in the morning, I could tell a difference on that. And but I take breaks from it too periodically and just do coffee, but it's just never the same. That wake up, the energy you get from that, and it lasts so damn, like, it's just God, I love my supplements. All right, what's going on? Let's get to some questions here today. I've got my massage on my shoulder appointment at 12 today. I think, is it 12 or is it 1? I got to look. So I'll be getting my the Wasana is back. My Thai angel, who has gotten this shoulder so damn good, and now we got to finish it and get this remaining scar tissue out of there. Good to see everyone. I'm going through here. Hello. Justin says he's at the gym right now and listening to this. You know, speaking of the gym, I've been going to different, I switched up, and because I'm a member at LVAC, the Las Vegas Athletic Club, and I usually go to the same one, the one up closer to me. And then people stop me for pictures in there, but not, I've been there for so long. The majority of people, once you go to a gym enough, people are pretty, it's easy. Outside of, you're just another person there because they see you if you're there frequently with that. But occasionally there'll be like new members that can, especially like I've noticed like teenage kids, because they were kids when I was on TV, and now a lot of them are in high school, and they all recognize me right away. So that'll happen sometimes. But I've been going to EOS Fitness, and I joined there because they have like different turf stuff, and I put some videos up because I could do some different things in those gyms. So I kind of just been, and I'll work out at home still and just bouncing around. And but I probably took 10 pictures at EOS Fitness yesterday with the kids. One kid was trying to get his dad on the phone. His dad didn't answer. So good job, Dad. I was gonna FaceTime with his dad. And I could tell it really meant a lot to him. So I was like, but we ended about 10 photos yesterday. And then one of them though was strictly from TikTok. One of them wasn't even from wrestling. He was like, "Oh man, I love you on TikTok." And that popped me. So I guess even followed by 3 million people, you're going to run into people that just follow you for the silly stuff on social media. So it's always that and the chips are the two things where it still hasn't. I just assume everything is always from wrestling, and it's not, which is not a bad thing at all. It's actually a very good thing. So, but thank you for listening at the gym. I actually got to catch that match. I did not catch the match with Riddle and Roman, but I did hear Brock is back for the 100th matchup between him and Roman. This is turning into quite the rivalry, the never-ending rivalry. Which obviously, though, with them, in all fairness, they don't have enough people in the top positions because they've not built up, and it's not the talent's fault. And Randy is that's concerning, the Randy Orton back situation. I'm curious to know exactly what that is, and I obviously I don't know what it is. But anytime you're dealing with a back injury and you want to avoid surgery at all costs, and I don't know if he needs a fusion. I don't know what the situation is, but back injuries in wrestling are never good. And I wish he would I wish he would just go to BioAccelerator down in Colombia if it's something that could avoid surgery, and not listen to the doctors on, because getting anytime, and it depends, there's different surgeries, but surgery on the back is the riskiest thing. And any doctor you talk to that is worth their salt, that will be honest with you, will tell you to avoid it as much as possible unless it's the last resort, necessary. But with stem cells, if I would have listened to them, I would have had a 5-disc fusion. I would have been sitting here probably fat and out of shape, not being, granted, I don't think I could ever let myself get like that, but I would not be anywhere. I wouldn't be me anymore. I would have been done. And my back's 100% now because I didn't listen, and I chose to go the stem cell route. And it took a while. It took years, but what's better is getting your body back and feeling like you're literally in the best health of your life, or you're being in a wheelchair and on pain pills the rest of your life. And so I hope whatever it is that he has to get done, he thinks about it. And because once you do that, it's pretty risky. Let's see here, but I will watch that match with Riddle, and I like Riddle. I think he's entertaining, and I like him. Hello. We've got a super chat here. Let me see where I missed that. There it came in. Tyler, one of the big contributors to the Ryback show. Shugru, thank you, buddy. Good afternoon, Ryback. My favorite WrestleMania match is HBK versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 21. What is your all-time favorite WrestleMania match? What is my favorite WrestleMania match? What was the one? I think you got to go with Rock and Hogan. That was WrestleMania, right? I'm positive. Was it Toronto? That match though is just the one that pops in my head, just because it was two huge megastars, and Hogan, and that match. I just thought a lot of it was, I don't know how much was planned and how much they had to adjust, and but hearing the crowd reactions on that made that match. Yeah, WrestleMania 18. That was the one. Yeah, because that was Scott Hall and and Austin as well, which I love that whole thing. I love because if I remember correctly, Drowning Pool Tearaway was the theme song for that WrestleMania, which is one of my all-time favorite songs by Drowning Pool. I love that. I love certain a few different songs. Step Up's another good one, but Tearaway is one of my top ones, and that was the theme for that WrestleMania. And I just remember it was so cool. It was cool seeing Razor, Scott Hall back, Nash back with the NWO, with everything, even though it kind of was right. It all kind of fell apart on how they booked it, but it was still great. If you look back and watch it, still, I think that stuff it just trumps everything going on today. Still, even and at that time, people were complaining about it. It's like it was so much better and more entertaining. I thought because I think a lot of those people too were big stars. Yeah, a lot of people says even though I was you liked seeing Rock and Hogan, but that time I was expecting to see Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, I think a lot of people, myself included, would have loved to have seen that. I know Jim Ross has talked about it about Austin and him and Hogan not potentially being a good pairing, and it's you're dealing with pro wrestling and like it's such a weird thing, and like you guys at that time, it's so competitive, and like Hogan was arguably it was the biggest star of in the 80s and early 90s. Austin is considered the biggest star potentially ever, but had probably the hottest run, right? But Hogan's runs were just, I mean, huge still, and so it's like but Austin and I know was injured and was leaving soon, and Hogan was really beat up, but still going. But obviously, his wasn't in his prime, I would say, as far as still looked absolutely amazing, but from a health standpoint. And for whatever reason, Austin, from everything I've heard, it just didn't think it would be a good pairing. And politics are involved with that sort of thing, and you never know. Like I don't know, and I don't know the details of everything. And I know Austin and Hogan get along now. They've done. I think they did a show together. What was it, a couple of years ago now? And maybe they talked more about it. I'm sure Steve. I want to say I heard something, but. I think they would have I think they would have had a great match, but I don't know, that I think, and maybe Rock getting booed, it would have been the question is would Austin have gotten booed, and I think the answer to that is there's a really good chance because I think Hogan had been away. And people were really wanting to cheer for him one last time, that babyface Hogan, and so, but I think Austin would have done it equally as well, if not better, is The Rock at adjusting on that. But some things are happening, some things aren't meant to be. It's great water cooler discussion though on on all that fantasy matchups and everything. We've got another super chat here. Orbitary, good to see you, buddy. Another Ryback show regular. Lost much respect for Booker after he confirmed that he was fine being racially demeaned in an angle with Triple H because the pay was good at the time. I'm not even aware of any of that, but I mean, it's like I don't know. I don't know. I've never heard anything about any of that, but I'll just say, a lot of times people though will do things depending on the pay. It depends on how you, and I have my issues with him over other things, right? But like on this, I can say if you look at it from a physical acting standpoint, which is all that it is, it's no different than playing a role in a movie, right? If you think it's the same thing, it's just that sometimes wrestling fans want to believe that everything is so real because it's the illusion of a real fight in the real conflict. And sometimes there are things that get involved that do have a sense of realism that do blur the lines on that. But I can actually understand, and like I could all day long, even though I have issues with him on other things, he's not wrong in that thinking on that one bit. Now, you may not have chosen to do that, but if you are a physical actor, which he is, we all are, we're all physical actors. We're pro wrestlers or physical actors. you just embrace that role if that is what they are doing or asking. And he clearly was comfortable doing that. So I don't have enough other details on it on why that was part of the storyline or whatever it was. I don't know on any of that. But if I was playing that in that role, I would ask, and then I was playing the role of Hunter. I would have like, why are we adding this to my character? What's like the payoff for this? And is it just to get heat? Okay, if you gotta there's things, and so you have an understanding of what they're doing. But oftentimes, when you're dealing with Vince and stuff, they just do things to do things, and it could be you gotta But Booker, if he was comfortable with it, I don't have any issues with it. Master of Boobs, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on gaining? Main gain? What is main gaining? What is main gain? I couldn't even tell you what that is. If you could elaborate on what main gaining, or somebody in the chat uh, can elaborate on what that is. Yeah, life. We got a question. Why did Vince come out last night and say what he said? I hear a lot of boos when he came out before the show started. I don't know. Were you in person there? I did see that he went out and I talked about everything. If you want to hear my thoughts on everything going on yesterday's Ryback show on that, I don't understand why he went out on SmackDown, and I thought if he did that, he could have. There, if I was invested in that company as a shareholder, and I'm seeing, and you have all this stuff going on, and the owner of this multi-billion-dollar pro wrestling company is being looked into along with other top executives and hiding NDAs, and I'm going to talk more about this and why I posted the picture I posted on all the social media platforms with the wrestlers that have passed away over the years in looking down from heaven, and with Vince with flames. I'll elaborate further on that because a lot of people got it. There's some that obviously don't and it's sometimes you have to explain these things even better, and even then a lot of them won't get it still. But I would have liked to have seen him own up to, because he's already stepped down because he knows the writing is on the wall, I believe. And so I think he's just typical, unless he has something up his sleeve where this is going to be really hard to cover up all the stuff I'm telling you guys. There's so much stuff that they've hidden over the years that if they start looking into this, and I think there's track records, and it's bad. I'm telling you, I'm not the only wrestler whose social media they're suppressing either. They do horrible things. So if they start looking into emails and conversations, different things, and one thing leads to the next and leads to the next, they're going to see what kind of shit show this really is. That this mom and pop organization, how they got this big, it's mind blowing to everybody that's in it. Okay, with that, but it would have been nice to see him come out and own up and say, this and this, and we're going to do our best to overcome this. And as the leader, I've whatever, something, I'm stepping down so that there's not this and that. It just seemed completely crazy, and like he almost like adding the word in there, like then, now, forever, together. It's like no, you alone on this, buddy, pal, and it's not going to be good for you. And that's what I think they're gonna. He may be just so out there at this point that he thinks he's untouchable. But when you're a publicly traded company and this sort of thing, and what I know and what a lot of people know, the stuff that has gone on, and they're looking into that, and they're finding NDAs right off the top. Here's where I'm going to explain the picture on this. So there's no health insurance for all the people, wrestlers, that leave after all their injuries. Like, they've never paid for anything on my stuff. My back and shoulder were destroyed from them there. My fault, right? I went there with that. But like, if I'm not good with my money and things, it's like I've seen former wrestlers there that their health insurance won't cover something, an injury from there, and they lose everything, or they lose any money they had saved. and whatnot. And he underpays all the wrestlers severely. He pays wrestlers worse than any other sport, entertainment, anything. Far worse than the UFC. They are horrendous on all of this, on how much they hoard money for how much each individual talent actually brings them in, which each talent is a different number on that. But those percentages are so far off for the majority of the roster with that. And so, but then you see that how many millions upon millions of dollars have they paid out to people to with that and not pay their talent accordingly? And that's where I'm getting at with that sort of you're dealing with this evil human being that does all these bad things and manipulates human beings. And then he's doing all this so he can keep his willy wet with people power and Dunn, all these guys. None of these guys are innocent. I'm telling you, they're going to find stuff on Dunn, Kevin Dunn. They're going to find a lot on all these guys. And I have and I don't even have to say too much anymore. I already know. I go, if they're truly looking into this, it's game over for them. They're going to clean house. And I said it yesterday too. I think they're going to do this in steps, so it's not going to be too shocking to the stock. That I think if things come out like next week, Johnny will be released, and 2 weeks Pritchard will be released. And I like nothing against and I don't think Bruce. I don't know if he's tied in. I don't know. I always seemed like he's nice. I don't know with it, but he's been his right-hand man and was there for a lot of other stuff, right? And I think they're just going to go, this company needs to be completely cleaned out. And that's where I'm talking about the toxic culture and environment there. And that's why I told you guys I never wanted to go back into that ever again on that. And as far as that, like sitting in the arenas all day, and it's just, and being a positive person, that energy is so draining and toxic and negative. And there's snakes, all of them, because everyone's doing it for the getting paid, the producers, and it's like, and you've got your little cliques of people there. It is, and this stuff, this stuff exists in other organizations and companies, but from there, it's his evil, demented, crippled mindset is literally, it gets passed down. So like he'll bully people like in the production meetings, and he yells at them. It makes people wait. I can't tell you how many times he used to make his personal trainer wait at the hotel lobby for hours. And I used to talk to the guy. Was so nice. And I go, I'm just waiting for Vince to go train. I go, how long you been out here? He's like, oh, 4 hours. I'm like, who does that to like tell somebody to be there that makes them wait? Right? This is the kind of stuff that you guys don't see or don't. And I go, there's such an evil manipulation power thing with this guy that he just thinks he's like, I'm like, man, doesn't matter how much money you have, you're going to die with none of it, man. You're going to be gone. Like none of it's going with you. All the material things, you have to be self-aware enough to realize this, but his self-development is so low for how much money. And you see this oftentimes with people with extreme wealth. They have very little self-development, personal self-development. And it's like just a lot of it is driven off of greed and evil. Not all the time. There's people, this isn't for everybody, because money's not evil, but it will exuberate that in people and make it worse if that exists. And that's why I put out the tweet with the control, because I know the story, and I know, and that's what and I know like the stuff they're doing with me, it's like, it's so personal with this. And that's why, but I feel it's an obligation on me, because I've got everything going on. Like, there's a reason I'm being really, really vocal on this, and someone has to be with it. And, but just sit back and, let's just see what comes out. Do I think Stephanie is a good replacement? I always got along with Stephanie, but do you think Stephanie's not aware of the things that have gone on in that company, being in a top position for a long, long time? And that's the thing that they're going to find. And then the people and like the work environment and with the independent contractors, with wrestlers, they're going to start seeing a lot of really, really flawed things that has gone under the radar. And I don't, I think I personally, what I want to see is the company be sold and all new management be brought in, get rid of everyone, clean house, and let's get some other people, get key wrestling people in there. The machine is the machine. The machine will keep going, but you've got to replace the culture and that toxic environment. And you have the talent, and the talent's not going anywhere. But I think you got a clean house of a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know what Andrew Yang. He talks a lot, but I haven't seen him do anything. And I know he's a wrestling fan, and a guy in that position, they need to do more. And he followed me. I unfollowed him years ago. I couldn't stand watching some of the stuff he talked about. But it always the wrestling stuff. I'd said more than enough, and he was more than aware of the things going on. And I think he's just a guy that talks a lot. I wish he would do something about it, but he's not in a position to. But he knows people, but they don't. Man, I just any politician, whatever. I'm over it. But a lot of you guys also don't understand. Like you guys are all looking like talking about nothing's going to change right now. Nothing has happened yet. Nothing has happened yet as far as this is just beginning. People are going to start getting taken out. You're going to see it. Maybe could I be completely wrong? Possibly, but I know the stuff that has gone on, and if they're truly investigating, I don't think I'm too far off here. Another super chat by Tyler Shugru. Thank you, buddy. My favorite theme song is John Cena's Basic Thugonomics. Whose theme song is your favorite? Tyler, you come off as an extreme wrestling fan. I got to tell you. I'm going with my theme song. I love my theme song. Meat on the Table. I thought that was that song. I truly, genuinely love that song. It pumps me up like nothing else, and it's I like it. But growing up, I think Stone Cold Steve Austin's was always, if I'm not picking my own theme song, right, is Stone Cold Steve Austin's elicits the most emotion. And I remember being younger and hearing that. Other ones I like, I remember the Triple H My Time was a really good theme song as well. When I was younger, I really, really liked that one a lot. Goldust theme is great. Yokozuna's theme is great for getting a massage. If I can I've literally played that before when I had my therapist come here to work on my shoulder. I literally just put the Yokozuna theme song on loop. It's the most relaxing. It's like a sauna. It's the best spa song ever. I can't I love that. It brings me back like childhood memories. Just hearing that, I loved Yokozuna when I was younger. I was terrified of him because I was afraid if he fell on me, he would hurt me. But because he was just so massive looking as when I was a kid. But the Yokozuna theme song, turn it on. Just put it on and close your eyes, put it on loop on YouTube, whatever, something. Just keep it on loop and just close your eyes, take a little siesta. I'm telling you, you'll get the best sleep of your life. That Yokozuna theme, there's something there's some sort of, it's laced with something that just calms your mind. Let's see here. A lot of questions. Edge's theme is great. Yep. Yeah, I said Brock returned last night, and I'll have to check YouTube. I didn't see it. I didn't watch any of the show last night, but yeah, no, I think anytime Brock is back is a good thing to have him. It's just I think how many times are we going to see Brock and Roman and specifically so close together? What's the goal? Is Rock going to be at WrestleMania? Is the goal to get Roman to WrestleMania? And if so, maybe you could have, if Roman's going over at SummerSlam, it would have been a good opportunity to plug somebody new into the main event and to get somebody groomed for the main event where, they push Roman to the brink, right? And then, but keep him in that main event scene after. Keep him though with top guys, and try to get a new main eventer. I don't know. It just seems this is what I talked about. When you book people too bad for too long, it's really hard to overcome it. But it's difficult, man. It's not easy being a pro wrestler in WWE with all their programming. I always said that. I go, the best thing, I always wanted to get away after I go, the guys that are part-timers are by far the smartest people because you can at least protect yourself, and people are just see too much of you. And I think it fades the stars of that you have by seeing you in so much. on that. Whereas like Brock comes in, it's special, right? When he's there for a bit and then he goes away and he comes back and it's kind of exciting again. And depending on who he's working with, but like the Roman thing to me has just been done too much with those two. But if you don't have that any other options, that maybe was the easy way out. And granted, like I said, the Orton thing sounded that would have been good, and I would have looked forward to that. I like Randy. Randy's awesome, and seeing Randy back in the title picture with that. But it's it's not easy. Main Gaining is trying to add as much muscle as possible in a calorie deficit, but still with a lot of protein. Main Gaining. So yeah, is trying to add as much muscle as possible in a calorie deficit. Well, if you're in a calorie deficit, it's going to be, you're not going to really be adding any new muscle. You can increase your strength. You may be able to maybe a small amount, but extremely difficult. Now, obviously, if you're abusing drugs, performance enhancing drugs, then those rules are greatly altered and changed with that. But and I would highly advise against that. But if you're calorie deficit and you're restricting calories, and you're still training, the best way I've found is the Feed Me More maximum size and strength program is training in that 4 to 6 rep range and keeping your strength as high as possible while cutting will help you keep as much muscle as possible. It's always worked extremely well for me on that. And now again, though, if you are doing drugs and things, you can do a lot of things wrong, or it changes the rules on a lot of things for that. And you don't want to go that route, though. It's no, and that's why till you see people that, like, I see people all the time at the gyms. I could tell when they start doing stuff, and like they'll get all jacked up and then they deflate, 4 months later, look nothing like anything. And like, it's just like, I go, like, what are you doing? Why not just slowly keep getting better and more constant? Like, and like, you could, like, it's just, kudos for going in there still and still training. Cause there's a lot of people that don't do that just do stuff and train. And then they can't train if they don't take stuff. And, like, so you have to have a love of health and fitness with that. But, yeah, Main Gaining. That's the first time I've heard of it. I thank you guys for explaining that. Let's see here. Yeah, no, I've talked about that. Brock was always one of the matches that I wanted, and it was never discussed. I tried, and I discussed that before, where I needed time off because I was so hurt. But if I would have got that time off where I wanted to go do like that we talked about it, the MMA stuff, that was all pitched to try to get me out of there so I can heal because I was so hurt with that. But then to bring me back in a top spot because I thought I could go home and rest and heal because I'd just been going. And I would have been wrong on that because I would have discovered I needed the 5-disc fusion and shoulder replacement because I would have gotten the MRIs when I was home, and I wouldn't have told them. I would have, because I had asked for stuff when I was there and just keep you going. Here, pump you full of cortisone and Toradol, keep going. But then eventually I got to get out of here. And I walked out. So Derek, the oil boy is back. I really want to grease up Dwayne Johnson and Rey Mysterio and John Cena and Austin Theory down with baby oil. That could be a possibility at WrestleMania next year if all those people are on that card. And, very possible, Derek the oil boy, as far as we can get Rey, Cena, and Theory maybe at SummerSlam. I don't know if you filed that application yet with WWE Court. Just don't put me as a referral, please, Derek. I can't go to bat for you, but if I would get that in, there's still time. Say that you're, you list your credentials, and I would really be careful talking about the baby oil per se, and see if you can slip your way in there. Yeah, Bill, Derek is going to Bill. There's no doubt. Anytime Derek's on this, he's typing with one hand. the baby oil. This is Derek's baby oil. Just he's probably just completely no clothes, baby oil all over his body except for the one typing hand, and he's just having a field day. And he's the only one on the bus. Super chat, are WWE equipment hurt when using in battle? Can somebody explain that question to me? Are WWE equipment hurt when using in battle? I don't know how to answer your question on that, buddy. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Squared circle equals square and compass ring, apron, G, apron, turn the WWE logo. Man, we got some real weirdos in here again. Hello. I don't know the relationship between Patterson and The Rock. How much freedom did WWE give you on promos? I'm always curious on that. If it was live events and had promos, it was a little bit of bullet points, and it was just go have fun. TV, everything is heavily scripted, and you pretty much, they want you sticking to the script as much as possible. I got in trouble. There was a period where, and I was getting very good reactions, and I'd added some things in, and nothing crazy, by the way. Just like I remember there was something with Lana, with Ziggler, and I'd made like a joke that got a really good reaction with the crowd. And it was like nothing like out of, it was all within the promo of like, it wasn't out of place. It wasn't. And I remember, I think Vince, they took promos away for a while. And then Vince, when I was leaving, and I was just so disgusted and done with him on a personal level. He was purposely giving me the worst promos to read of the last month or two there, and make it like word for word. Like, and I remember there was a point Jericho came over and he goes, "Who's writing these?" I said, "This is from Vince directly." And he goes, "Jesus." Like, it was, I go, "Yeah." I go, I don't care. I was already checked out. And so, like, there was everything, just doing my job, just write whatever you want to write. I'm emotionless on it. I can care less. So, but there were other times, just, I think, the main event promos, like working with Cena, where I was talking a lot more than the original babyface run. I had some pretty lengthy promos on that. And I mean, you get handed pages. The promo I had with Mick Foley, I love that promo. That was we were in England. I remember Mick and me, we both had a lot of lines. Mick was in one hallway going over his promo, and I'm in the other hallway going over my promo. Like, and then we'd get together and talk about just a few things. And that stuff is a lot of fun, but it's a lot of prep. It's like an actor. You got to go find a spot, and you got to memorize a lot of words in a short period of time while dealing with the chaos of everything going on and people being there. But you just got to, it's what you do as a professional on that. And, I wish I wish some of those, you had a little more freedom, and you do to a certain degree because it's so much verbiage, but I have a very good memory also, though. So I could always pretty easily remember almost word for word everything. Once I go through it, I'd go through, and I had a system on how I would memorize the thing. And like, I will scan it and get key things, and then I'll learn it sentence by sentence. And I go in, and I'll literally just keep going until I got it. Then I'll do it, got it. And then I'd like test myself, got it. And then if I ever forget something, I'd go back and redo it until I got it. And so, but it takes, you gotta put, that's a skill. And not everyone has that ability. And it could be nerve-wracking right? I'll tell you, there was one promo. You can go watch it on YouTube where I'm heel bully Ryback. I come out on the ambulance in the Cena program. You want to talk about a stressful day? That entire promo was almost on the fly, and so Vince, they changed that promo on me twice. I'd memorized it once already, the other version, and I think that was a day. I don't know if it was being done on purpose. It happens to so many people. You never know what Vince is thinking. If they're trying to rib you, if they're trying to see how cool and calm and collected you'll stay in the heat of the moment of chaos. They bring me into with Vince and two of the writers, Ed Koskey and Dave Kapoor. Great. I always got along really well with them. And they ripped up the last promo and they're rewriting it 30 minutes before Raw. I'm opening the show. I have to go get in an ambulance. We already rehearsed it. So I had to be in this ambulance at a certain time that I wasn't there yet because I'm in there with Vince. They give me the promo 5 minutes, pages of a promo, 5 minutes before Raw. I literally grab it. I run in. I'm already in my bully vest. I'm in everything. Run. They jump in the back of the ambulance. Raw is starting. I'm literally with my phone trying to look at what they just wrote for me on everything. I see some of the same bullet points that were in the other promos. I go, all right, let's just go for it. So boom, ambulance sirens going, Raw's kicking off. I have the promos. It was just left it in the back of the ambulance, or I put it in my pocket. I don't know if I put it in my pocket of what I did with it, and I just go, well, we're gonna see what I say now. And then Vince supposedly told me he loved it with everything, but that was as real as far as not having anything, it was probably the most exhilarating because I'm standing on top of an ambulance with all the attention on me, and I didn't have any time to memorize the promo, so it was and I thought I handled it extremely well. But the potential for that to go horribly wrong was there. The potential was there to, but luckily at that point I was pretty comfortable. Yeah, Bill says it's such a paradox to imagine jacked up wrestlers trying to memorize lines of a script. Totally unnatural. Well, I think it's that you got to. This is why pro wrestlers are some of the most amazing. I'm telling you, people on the planet. As far as that skill, you have to be so good at so many different things to you know what I mean. And it's why it is physical acting, but it's also the pro wrestling, and that you have to be an athlete to a degree, and you have to be able to do the moves, and you have to have the conditioning and cardio of a fighter like that's the most real part of pro wrestling is the conditioning. Like that is you have to be in such great shape to do a wrestling match. And you would see if you put a regular person, you see if you ever go to a wrestling school and you'll learn the term blowing up really quickly. That's why I'm obsessed with conditioning because it allowed me all my success. Once I figured that out, and anybody I ever meet, if they tell me they're in pro wrestling or they're training to be a pro wrestler, the first thing I tell them is get really good at conditioning, burpees, stairmaster, all those things, because they do correlate to your conditioning in the ring more than if you do really hard conditioning. Now, if you're doing the elliptical just to burn calories, you have to push yourself to the brink of wanting to pass out. That is what you got to do to get good at conditioning for in the ring with that. And even then, you still need to get in the ring and do the movement because you're walking on padding. And so that's the other thing. A lot of people, even no matter how good a shape you are, you got to get in quote unquote ring shape. You're walking on a wooden surface with a foam padding, depending on how thick it is with the canvas, that your boots will sink into a little bit with that. So it's like, imagine running on sand is a lot more difficult than running on the street, right? So you have to get your body acclimated to that conditioning in the ring. And so you could be in amazing shape and you're still going to want to get in the ring and do some stuff just so you have, right? And that's where there's just so much, man. And then memorizing lines, you have to be an improv actor. You have to be able to act and react as well. The people that do that better can increase their chances of being a bigger star and connecting with people on that. And then your memorization skills have to be a certain level. And the people, I remember there's guys up there that aren't good at memorizing matches. They don't use them. as much on TV and stuff because they're more of a they just can't trust them to right, and it's and they didn't have the improv skills to act and react to get through a match, and so like there's a lot, man, that you got to be really good at to thrive as a pro wrestler. Let's see here. Hello, hello. I like Ricky Starks a lot. I'm very happy for him, and I hope he continues to have a lot of success and stays healthy. I've talked about him before on here. I get along with pretty much everybody. I always like I don't. Yeah, Dory Funk School in Ocala. Yeah, Dory came down to Florida Championship Wrestling. He came in and we had Dory Funk Day. Dory had us all dancing to learn footwork. I swear, it was one of his drills. Was just this. It was some like I don't call it 2-step. It was some sort of like country sort of dance routine, and I can honestly say I don't think it helped me any on anything. I don't think it helped anyone that day, but I understood, and I think we were all happy just not to take bumps for that day because you once you know how to bump, you don't want to take bumps all the time, and especially in training. And so I think it was a day that Dr. Tom was kind of giving us a break, but we had to show up. So he Dr. Tom, man, brilliant man. That Dory Funk day. I shouldn't say that. I got a lot out of that day. I got a lot out of that day. I learned how to work smarter, not harder that day. Super chat. Tyler Sugaru again. Is Survivor Series in Survivor Series they have traditional 5-on-5 matches? Which 4 superstars would you pick to be on your team and make the perfect 5-man team? Let's see. I would just go straight meat. Straight meat. We have to have 5 guys, so we're gonna have myself, Brock, Bobby, Batista, and Big E. I just think unstoppable. We would be called Meat Mountain. Nobody conquers Meat Mountain. Tyler is solely funding the Ryback show at this point. Tyler's paid for today's massage already. This Zevia is on you, Tyler. Thank you. No, Roman's not meaty enough. Roman's a big guy. I'm talking. This is Meat Mountain, man. You're talking about a Meat Mountain Survivor Series team. You think Vince is going to book that team to lose? You think Vince is ever going to book Meat Mountain to look weak? Undefeated for the rest of our careers. Meat Mountain anytime we're together. Super chat. Here's $20 since you'll never work in wrestling again. Thank you very much. I appreciate your enthusiasm. I'm actually going to invite you. Who's this guy? Let's go ahead. I'll invite you onto the show here. Hold on. We can have a nice conversation. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. 404, come on in. You've got the link there, my man. Come have a conversation with the big guy. We'll see if you're right or not. It's too early to tell. I'm not wrestling right now. Yeah, it's Canadian. It's not worth anything. Yeah, we talked about everything with Vince on yesterday's show. The best part is, though, is I do appreciate you literally hate me so much you follow and watch, and you just gave me money. I mean, that's pretty committed. That's what I'm saying. You can never understand the Mark mindset. It's they're on their own wavelength. he's on his Wrestling Observer website and listening to that in one ear and then over here on the other. I appreciate all the international love and support, but we're going to start putting some people in timeout. Yeah, Goldberg. I forgot Goldberg on it, but I Meat Mountain set. I'm going with the team. I like the team that I have. Good question. Do I think plant-based fast food will continue to grow? Kevin Hart is opening up one in LA. I read. I do believe so. Yeah, and it's. I just think it's more and more people become aware of the benefits of going plant-based, and it's not even telling people to go vegan, but it's eating less, consuming less meat and chicken and fish, and more. Go ahead and get rid of this dude. What's it called? Having options out there, and the vegan fast food is really, really good. And so it is a great. Anytime there's money to be made, people are gonna get into it, and a lot of famous celebrities and people with a lot of money, they're investing in these plant-based meats because you can see the direction, that things are going. And it's not saying getting rid of animal products, altogether or whatnot, but I do think things are shifting as more and more people are becoming aware of all this. Hello, hello. Ryback was the greatest tag team in wrestling. Thank you very much. Cena's still a big guy, I would say. I don't think Cena's small. We're going to go ahead and block that guy after I got his money, though. Thank you. Let him come on under a new username and give me another super chat. WWE. No, I am legally Ryback Reeves. So, and I'm winning the trademark. Everything is the trial portion has started. And then they have a settlement. My attorney just sent back the revised settlement yesterday, and we're waiting to see what they come back with. But the trial is proceeding now, and I don't know if we have about 5 or 6 more months before it goes to the decision. But they're gonna. I'm taking care of business, and we'll see. I'm either gonna win it or they're gonna settle, and I'm gonna have it either way. Thank you, Papa Smurf, on saying you liked my post on the wake up hungry with the need to feed. Thank you. Oscar with the super chat. Got to always give some love. Thoughts on Punk's injury in this aspect? Punk never looked like he worked out much. You think if he did many injuries could have been avoided? Aries never has injuries. I think Punk works out. I know in WWE I'd see him at the gym sometimes. I don't know how many days a week he goes, but I would imagine I don't think Punk's in horrible shape. I think Punk I think the one thing he's always lacked is he's never had like defined abs, which is, I don't know if that's just genetic. I don't know even when he fought in the UFC and cut weight, I don't think he had abs, if I'm mistaken. I think his stomach, I think his body fat was down, definitely, but he's just, I don't think he has the best genetics in the world. I don't think he's anywhere close on that, but I do think he works out and pushes himself to his hard. I don't think he's like this phenomenal, amazing athlete either, like coordinated beyond belief. Like, I don't know. I just never struck me as that, but I don't think that has like injury wise. I don't think that has, he's been back and he was working really hard and stuff, but I don't know. A foot injury could happen realistically. And I know I said karma rules, and I meant it for all the BS and the lies that he said, but I could also talk about things like that. It's a freak injury and it could happen to anyone at any point in time. it was just bad timing. There's never a good time, to get an injury like that. And unfortunately, though, that's kind of the karma part, that it was worst time possible for that. But they're gonna stick with him, and we'll see how quick he can come back. And but he trains. I don't think he doesn't not train. It's just a matter, I don't know how much. But he's in better shape than, I mean, your average everyday person, right? So I am watching the hockey playoffs. I'm rooting for Tampa because I lived there for a few years. So I'm pulling for the Tampa Bay Lightning, even though I like Colorado. I was rooting for Colorado to win in the previous series. So I've been watching a little bit. I watched the NBA Finals the other night with Golden State winning. So congratulations to Golden State. Steph Curry, amazing game, and everyone was picking Boston to win that, and they just didn't let them get close after a short period. Let me see here. We talked about the Vince. We talked about the Vince stuff earlier on yesterday's show as well. Super chat here. Did you watch SmackDown last night? If so, what did you think of the championship match and also the special appearance at the end? Yeah, we already touched on that with Brock back, and they're going to do him and Roman again. And I did not watch SmackDown. I'm actually going to watch the Roman Riddle match. I'll probably watch that at some point today, and but later on, and I can give more thoughts on that on the next Ryback show episode with that. But I heard someone said it was a good match right earlier. So I like Riddle. I like Roman. So I'm sure I'll enjoy the match. Let's see here. Thank you. I'm very 288 pounds, right around there. I'm your fan living in Korea. Be happy. Thank you very much. I hope everything is going well in Korea. The Oscar, thank you for the super chat. By the way, best Kingpin scene is when he comes into the bowling alley, grabs a pizza, and gets it yanked back. Ever run into Punk? What if you did Airport? No, Kingpin, man. I actually got to watch that movie again. It's a great movie with that. And I've not ran into Punk. There was actually the only time that he was in the same place that I was, and this pissed me off. Nothing with him on this. This was I did an appearance when I first left WWE, and it was at Nassau, and they did not promote me, and it was supposed to have they didn't have the banners for me. They were supposed to be a whole setup, and they didn't have me listed, so none of the fans knew I was even going to be there. And I don't know who messed up what, but I actually did really, really good. Made a bunch of money in 2 days. But he was doing one of his only appearances he's ever done. At that time, I think that was the first one since leaving WWE and after all the UFC stuff. And so I remember I had to, as we came in to go to the booth, we had to walk by, and he had people in his line, and they were chanting "Feed me more," and then they said, "Oh, Punk's over there," and I mean, not going to go do anything at an appearance like that, and that's the most unprofessional thing that you could do, and you'll never get booked on anything like that, so you have to be. There's a time and place for everything with all of that, but I've not ran into him on anything, and I'm cool, calm, and collected on the majority of the time, but he knows all the things that he did, and like I said, karma rules, and it's easy to sit here and say, "Oh, I'd kick his ass." Like I think we all know, and I know, and and I'm not too worried with any of that. So, but yeah, not ran in. I haven't traveled, I haven't done anything either. I did 3 appearances last year, just randomly took a few, and then I turned down one again here, just a lot of money to go do a signing in New York, New Jersey. I just said, no, thank you. I don't feel like going and stuff. And usually people send stuff that are like, they wrestle to come do that. No, unless if there's something I want to just go to that place, that town, then maybe, but I've I'm just running my business and being happy. And so I'm not like in a situation where I'm going to run into, where would I run into them at? Let's see. Super chat. Is it hard to be a wrestler in the company before? You've got a hell of a way with words, BLF4. Again, yeah, I think it's being a wrestler. It can be extremely difficult, but if you work really hard, it's very easy. And once you have confidence doing it, it's very, very easy. Nahula Beats, thank you for the super chat. Used to really despise you, but can't believe you have people who wouldn't say something like that to your face. I'll talk with you live. Thank you very much, buddy. I'm not really particularly interested. It sounds like you have changed your ways from probably just watching and making a decision over what you've seen, over what you've heard, which is what I always I see people, that other guy, the TikTok stuff, and people like in the comments go, I've met Ryback. He was super nice. I really liked him. And that people are still arguing like over things that they think they've heard. And I'm like, how are you? And people will literally tell them, you're lying, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, 10 people at the gym I met yesterday, probably think I'm pretty nice, that I just quick little conversation and taking pictures with them. I do this all the time. I'm just like, I don't know what to tell people outside. It's like, you either believe what you know, from what you see, or you just let people manipulate you through things. But it's easy to hate. A lot of people don't want to believe that they're wrong on things and the opinion that they have formed. And so they will choose to just keep hating. Right. And that's on them. That's self-development. And that's not my problem. Did I miss a super chat? I'm just going, give me 1 second. Trying to get the comments back up. There we go. No, I'm probably not going to watch the Forbidden Door. I don't watch a lot of that international stuff with that. Granted, that may change the day of. I might say, you know what, I feel like watching this. As of right now, it's not something that's on my radar. Thank you for watching my match beating up the Shield. The majority are fickle, like Brian calls them. Yeah. It's just it is what it is. You just try to give it the least amount of attention, as far as like that. They're going to think what they're going to think. And no matter what you do, if you look at anybody in life that's doing anything, and go look at Tom Brady's comment section, it's insane. There's massive love and massive hate with it, right? It's every wrestler, everyone gets this, but those who get the most attention, you're going to get good and you're going to get bad. It's just the way that it is. And it's like, my thing is, it's a lot of them don't understand the key to block. You just block and keep moving on. And because the blocking is really fun for me, because I know it bothers them and it takes away any kind of control or power that they think they have with that. It's like, but hey, if I bother you that much, I'm going to make it easier so you don't have to see me anymore. Now move on to somebody else that you're going to go distract yourself with and hate, and like you do for the other 100 people you send messages to all day to fill your day up. And it's been a great day of texting hate to people that you don't even know, and that. So, but my thing is like, I'm not trying to even. You guys have the content. You could form an opinion, right? We're all going to have an opinion. You might think you know something new. You might this and that. It's the extremes are so on the end. People online, you're so arrogant and cocky and full of yourself, and then people I meet, you're the most humble person, so down to earth person I've ever met. The people that actually know me, it's because I think that my sarcasm is so missed by that portion too, and that they just like, right. And so it's just such an odd thing. I'll never spend time though, as far as like trying to like convince them, because there's just too many. Why it stops me from living my life and working on the things that I need to do. And that's why it's just block and move forward. Best of luck. Go make another account and maybe you change your ways. If not, I'm not worried about it. I don't know if racism is a big thing in wrestling. I never, but I'm not. I never saw anything, but I'm sure like you'd have to ask everyone involved in wrestling what their experience was. And I'm sure there'd be people that would say yes and a lot would say no. So I don't know. And I'm not involved in wrestling right now, the currently as far as like around in that environment. So, I never saw anything or never gotten the sense of anything like that. But I kind of just mind my own business and don't really get caught up in all the gossip of everything. Hulk says, Ryback, you're so over that you've been out of the business for years, 6 years, over 6 years now, and that they're still talking about you, good or bad. So that is uh, they're still talking about you. Yeah, no, and it's like I said, the 3 million we're going to hit on TikTok, and even with my social media being restricted by WWE, I've kept myself afloat, and it's all going to work out. I've always been protected, and it's all going to work out. It's another show though. What's the was it Panda Express? Another show he hasn't showed up on. The would have thought he would have been able to come over here by now. He's missed 4 shows of the Ryback show now, and his Friday date. He had the date and time for Friday at 10 a.m. He completely chose to ignore that. So, but I also said it would be fun just to get him to finally come and then just toy with him. I could have a really genuine, honest, like nice conversation, not even be upset with anything, and that would not let someone like that even ruffle my feathers. Even though I might choose if I want to start getting into it just to be entertaining, that would be pretty fun. But like bring him on and then not let him on, or like, what'd you say? I can't hear you. It just keep telling him times to come on and just drag this out and try to drive him as crazy as possible. Brother, yeah, I know. Of course, I know about the Vince McMahon scandal. Jesus. WWE posted a video of you squashing the Great Khali yesterday. Bet that feels good. What did they post that on? That's odd. I don't know why they would post anything. Which if they're doing that, that's very odd. That would make no sense unless Great Khali did something to piss them off. Like Vince will do things if someone pisses him off, he'll use somebody he hates to get somebody he hates even more. I'm telling you, it's so crazy the way they work. You're very welcome, Tyler Shugru. Thank you for the super chats as always. And he says, thanks for the answers. Have a great day, big guy. You too, my man. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, it's hilarious. You blocked the guy that gave you $20. Yeah, I could care less about the money. Like that's just I just do the principle of like if you want to try to be like you know a little negative smartass and say something that you don't know anything about. Like I already know his type. I invited him. Hey, come. You want to have a conversation with me? Maybe Nope. No, I doesn't want to because he's a coward with that. And I brought people on. I have more respect though for people that actually do show their face on that, and so they could let people see them with that and see how they have a conversation. Braun Strowman's really strong. I don't know. We've never competed in anything lifting, and I don't know how much strongman stuff he's doing anymore. I know he's always going to be super strong, but he's had some injuries as well too. And after my shoulder stuff, and I'm still really strong, but I got it, and I'm trying to get this back to full strength because I want Ryback strength for as long as possible. Hello. Good to see all of you guys. Let me see here. Seeing if I have one more question. All right. With that today, guys, I'm actually what time? I am going to wrap up. I got to get ready here for the shoulder. I got to see if that's at what time that is exactly at here to go get my shoulder worked on and continue this sweet fast. But thank you, as always, guys, for watching. Please subscribe and turn on notifications here on YouTube. Check out my Feed Me More Nutrition supplement line. We have 13 different supplements over on feedmemore.com. You can save 20% with discount code RYBACKSHOW20 on that. And I'm going to go ahead and cue this up. Let's have a great one, guys. Have a great weekend, great Saturday. And until next time, my friends, stay hungry. Feed me more. Feed me more.